All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Laugh, Let, and Eat the podcast. And we are coming at you live now. So I don't know how many channels we're streaming across, JP, but I know that you've got all that set up. I'm going to stay out of that lane. Today, listen, today's guest, I have been watching Dale Vermillion since I was a little kid.
You have, you're right.
Just kidding, just kidding. I've always known of your name, Dale. I can't know, I don't know how it got into my psyche, how it got into my DNA, but I've always heard the name Dale Vermillion. You have trained over 1 million mortgage professionals, over 800 lenders. I mean, obviously, look, I want to use the word legend, but I mean, you are an absolute icon in the mortgage industry for training loan officers. And as you were just saying before the show started, you're having an amazing time celebrating your 30th anniversary of training mortgage professionals. So Congratulations and welcome to Laugh, Let, and Eat Live, Dale.
Thank you, my friend. Fobby, it's so good to be here with you. Love the stuff you're doing. Just love your attitude. It's always fun when I see you online. So honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, man. The honor is all ours. And listen, to our guests, to our viewers out there that are, listening in on whatever premium station that is, whatever streaming station, please chime in your questions. We're going to try to block out some time at the end. This is a really good opportunity to, if you have any questions going on, you want to ask Dale today, you want to ask me, maybe you want to ask me something. I don't know. Maybe you want to start your own podcast. Put it in there and we'll get to it. You know what I mean? But other than that, we're going to drive to some real questions that we want to get with Dale. And like I said in passing, this is your 30th anniversary of training mortgage loan officers. Is that accurate?
It is. I started in 1983 in the business, so I had 12 years in the business before I got into training and consulting. We are so excited and honored to make it 30 years working with hundreds and hundreds of lenders, thousands and thousands of executives, and millions of loan originators and leaders. And we're just in the greatest industry on the planet. I'm just a firm believer in that. I love this industry. I love the people in this industry, and just want to help as many people as we can be successful.
Now, 1983, I had hair down to my shoulders and a lightning bolt on my left earring.
I love it. I can visualize that. I really can.
I was playing bass guitar in a glam rock band.
Love it.
And you were already doing mortgages. So
I was.
You were well ahead of me, my brother.
Got a few years of it.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, obviously, look, the tariffs, the market, refinance opportunities, servicing lenders, Rocket and Mr. Cooper, Redfin. It's like a lot of noise, right, Dale? I mean, that the loan officers are being bombarded with, right?
Yep.
With rates possibly slipping like they seem this week, back to kind of like some kind of refi opportunities could occur. What do you think the playbook is for loan officers to position themselves for that deal?
Yeah. So you brought up a really key point there, Fobby, at the very beginning, and it's this, all right? There is a lot of noise out there. And I will tell you that noise is what's causing more havoc for loan originators than any other thing that I see. Look, the market is what the market is, all right? Rates are not going to control your failure or success. I will just tell you that right now. Rates have nothing to do with the game. And as loan officers, we got to drown all that stuff out. We got to quit looking at the headlines, quit listening to all of the media hype, because, look, the media loves to sensationalize the things and bring out all of the stuff that brings shock factor.
Mm-hmm.
The tariffs aren't going to change the mortgage industry any less than 100,000 other things I could tell you about over a 42-year career that momentarily and temporarily created havoc. But it's the old saying, this too shall pass, and it all does.
Yeah, amen.
At the end of the day, here's my first bit of advice to every loan officer listening today. You have to ground yourself today and get your mind back to focusing on one thing and one thing only, okay? And that is this a great market to lend in? And the answer is, without a question, yes. And here's the reason why, okay? The economy is tough. Consumers are struggling. This is where we shine. This is where we make our money. This is where we make our mark. This is where we make our difference with consumers. I've always been the guy that the tougher the market gets, the happier I am.
Wow. Okay.
Completely opposite mindset of most everybody that I meet in the mortgage industry. And I've had that for my entire career. Because when the market's tough, what that tells me is consumers need three things. There's three things that I've always focused on in my career. Call them the three S's.
Mhm.
What are those three things? Savings, stability, security. Those are the three things. You talk to any consumer today and you ask them this question. So let me ask you a question. Do you think this economy's pretty scary and pretty tough? Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me ask you, if I could improve your savings, your stability, and your security financially today, would you like to have a conversation about that? There's no cost for me to tell you how I can do it. Would you like to talk about that today? 100% of them will say yes to you. They won't say what's your rate because you didn't even bring that up yet.
But Dale, let me push back a little bit on this because
please do. I love this.
Yeah, because look, we have loan officers all the time. Fobby, I gotta get 50 bips concession. Fobby, I'm gonna lose this deal if I don't match this guy's rate. Fobby, you don't understand the credit unions, the online lenders, blah blah. I mean, it's and this is the world that we may be living in today.
Yep.
And I was pushed back, and I was raised just like you were. I came from the subprime world in the early 90s where I don't think it was called subprime. We just negotiated with Conseco what the rate could be on a possible situation, right?
Right.
And so rate was not a big thing for me. I just wanted to get the deal done.
Right.
But it feels like today, Dale, that the loan officers because of all the information that's available, they now have to play more of a matching game. What do you say to someone that talks like that?
I would say the reason you're playing a matching game is because you're not selling the right way. So let me tell you what top producers are doing today. All right. And I'm training more of them than probably anybody in the nation. I can show you clients that I'm working with who have loan officers that are consistently in 2025 and 2024 closing 10, 20, 30, 40. Believe it or not, even one guy closing 80 loans a month in this marketplace in distributed retail with the same competitors that I'm hearing all these other loans say, oh my gosh, if I don't cut 25 basis points, I'm going to lose the deal. What are they doing that those ones that are coming back and saying they got to cut their prices? The difference is they're completely relationship and value-based loan officers. They're not digital price, product, and program loan officers. That's the separation point. All of the people who are struggling today, the reason they're struggling is they're relying too heavily on digital originations. It's let me send you a link. You fill it out yourself. I'm not going to spend any time with you to really understand you, get to know you, educate you on the market, let you know why this is a good market to buy in or why this is a good market to refinance in. I'm just going to shoot you a link to make it easy for you because I think that's what you want, even though consumers say by surveys they don't.
Yeah.
And then when I get your link, now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for you. Well, think about that for a minute. You're going straight from a digital app right to a sales presentation. Do not pass go, do not collect $200 in between. You have no founded relationship, no true understanding of your borrowers. You've built no trust and loyalty. You've got no credibility. All you are is a loan offerer. You're not a loan officer. You're a loan offerer. There's a difference between the two.
Wow.
And when you're just a loan offerer to me, I'm going to go, okay, sounds good. Let me talk to a couple other people and I'll get back to you. And if you happen to be the cheapest guy, you're going to get the deal. If you're not, I'm going to say, well, you know what? These guys offer me 50 basis points left. Can you match it?
Well, let's dive a little deeper in that because that's such a great segue into what I want to talk about a little bit. Right? Is the conversations loan officers are having today, right? Seems like what you just described. I'm going to send you the link. Because we have a great tech stack, right?
Yep.
And just cheap plug, we have an amazing tech stack where we at, right? And I promote that, right? That's what I'm supposed like. But you're saying you may want to have that conversation and do the loan application yourself and have a conversation with the borrower. Is that what you're saying, Dale?
Yeah. So let's go back to the basics for a minute here, Fobby. Okay. Here's where I basically foundationally start every conversation with a borrower with this simple understanding. A mortgage transaction is the single largest, most personal financial transaction people make in their lifetime. Can we both agree to that statement right there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think everybody in your audience would agree with that statement right there. Okay. So here's the deal. When you're talking about the largest financial transaction somebody's doing in a marketplace where we've gone from 2021, which was a volume market where rates were in the 2s and 3s, to a 2025 where rates are in the 7s.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a big difference in interest rate. Consumers don't understand that difference. And what they think is this is the worst time in the world you could buy or the worst time to refinance, both of which are false statements, by the way. And that's their context. And now they're moving into this really, really in-depth relational financial transaction, but there's no relationship to it. It's just all being done transactionally.
Mm.
That's what loan officers are doing, is we're taking a transactional approach. Well, here's the deal. When you're in a transactional approach and it's the biggest financial decision you're going to make, price is going to become your number one focus every single time.
Yeah.
What else would I make the decision on? I don't know my loan officer. I don't know what their service differences are. You haven't created anything for me that I can't get anywhere else cheaper. What would I pay extra for on a major decision? The mistake that we make is we misplace what technology is designed for. Let's go back to the question about why did we create all these tech stacks in the mortgage industry?
Okay.
Here's my answer to that. Efficiency and ease. Those are the two things they're built for. So that we can close loans faster, we can do them a little bit easier, we can get access to documentation quicker.
Mhm.
All of those are the benefits of being technologically advanced. However, tech doesn't build relationship. Tech
Right.
doesn't build trust. Tech doesn't build confidence in the loan originator. All tech does is creates a transactional environment. So what you have to be, and I've been saying this for 10 years, we got to be high tech, high touch. We got to be both. We got to merge the two. Use your technology for what it's intended for, which is efficiency, but still build those deep relationships so you separate yourself from the crowd, from everybody else. And that's what top producers are doing today, and they're slaying it in the marketplace.
So the thing that I picked up on really quick, right, is that the hesitation for people right now, because the consumer says, well, my brother-in-law got a rate of 3.25%. And you're telling me the rate is 7%, Fob. I don't know if this is the right time to buy.
Yep.
Maybe I should wait.
Yep.
Right? And now we have look, Barry Habib does a great job on coaching us on that stuff. And I'm sure,
I love Barry. We've been
Barry's
friends for 25 years.
Barry's a great guy, right? And he's so right. Like as the rates go down, more people will qualify, meaning competition for the same house. So it's better to buy today than it is wait for the competition. How does a loan officer? So what you're saying, though, and I want to connect the dots for everybody, is you're saying build that trust with the client, so that you become the trusted advisor.
But let me take it a step further, okay? So, because trust alone isn't going to get you the deal, you still got to win the deal. So here's let's take your example you gave me just a moment ago. All right, I got a borrower who says to me today, you know what? I think I'm going to wait because rates are high. Oh, I've got all kinds of answers to that one. And I say, well, first off, let me ask you a question. All right, let's put rates aside for just a minute, Mr. Jones. All right, the reason that you're telling me you will wait is really only for one reason. Your view is that because rates are high, then affordability is probably going to be tough for you. Is that a fair statement to make? And they're going to agree with me 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I'm concerned about what my payment's going to be. So let me ask you a question. All right. If I could show you how to get into an affordable payment today for the house that you're in love with, would that change your thinking? If you didn't know what rates were, and we never had that discussion, but you found the house you liked, and I could show you, I could help you build a budget. By the way, that's something loan officers don't do anymore. We used to do all in the subprime days. I recommend you still do that today. Don't just do an ETI calculation. Do a budget with the borrower.
Do a budget.
Actually, do a budget. Sit down and look at it.
If you're in the audience, please take a note of this. Do a budget. That's a great.
Huge.
Yeah, man, it's a game changer.
It's huge.
Trusted advisor. The mantle of that again. One more time. Love that. Sorry to cut you off.
I teach this to loan officers all the time, Fobby. I ask the question, what percentage of a homeowner's income goes to taxes? And I always get the same answer. Oh, 25%. I go, no, it's closer to 50. And they're like, oh, no, there's no 50% tax bracket. So wait a minute. I didn't say income tax. I said tax.
Yeah.
The average tax bracket is 22 to 28% for a homeowner. Add your property tax, your sales tax, your State income tax at 7%, you're at 50%. So if you're doing a 50% DTI and they pay 50% of taxes, how are they affording that home?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not. But if you do a budget, you know if they can afford the home.
I literally used to tell clients back in the day in like 94, 95, right? That if you come home and you have to think about buying a $20 pizza for your kid, don't buy this house.
That's exactly right.
Don't do it.
So going back to the conversation, if I can get them thinking about affordability first and say, if I could create an affordable payment for you, would you be interested in at least having a conversation? They say yes. Now, here's what I say next. And I go back to what you mentioned a moment ago, that Barry and I, we've been teaching this for 10 years. Here's the bottom line. Today, if you wait and rates go down, you're going to be back to 2021. Now, let's remind you what that looked like.
Mm-hmm.
A home went on the market within 5 minutes. 120 people made an offer on it. They were bidding 50 and 100,000 over asking price. There was no seller concessions even considered on any of those.
Mm-hmm.
You had to waive your right to an appraisal, your right to sell your home, and your right to an inspection. That was the worst time to buy a home, not the best time, even though the rates were the lowest. Today, you get the house you want. I'll get you an affordable payment. And the minute those rates drop, I'm going to call you up and get you in that lower rate. That's the best investment decision you can make.
Listen, I just want to make another note. As we're going down this, I'm getting schooled here. I just want everyone to understand. I've been doing mortgages since 1994, right? And I love this. I'm getting schooled like my ass off right now, guys. This is amazing, right? You got to pick up on the passion that Dale's picking up on. I mean, if you're not talking to your clients with the same level of passion, because for me, Dale, I am, once again, this is that trust barrier, right? You build that trust, you win that relationship. You win that relationship. You have to make that. It's about creating that passion and creating that urgency for someone to understand that. But
That's right.
But I'm going to put this in here right now because I know one of your big things is serving other people.
Yep.
Service first, selling after that, right?
Right. Be a humble hero, like my T-shirt says.
Yeah, I mean, because that's really important, and I think I want to spend a little bit of time on talking about that for a second here. Like, why is that that's like almost your cornerstone, Dale? From what I've, obviously I research you and all that stuff, right? And everywhere I went, boom, 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 boom. It's always about service others first, that kind of stuff. So let's take a moment and just kind of let's talk about that for a second so the audience understands that.
Look, people matter. I think we've gotten to the point in the industry now, Fobby, we've become so transactional and we don't even realize we're doing it. We don't realize that we're just going from call to call to call to call to call, and it's a bunch of numbers and a bunch of mortgage terminologies, and I'm going to impress you with everything I know about a mortgage, and the borrowers could care less. You know what the borrowers are looking for? A trusted advisor. The key to that is the first word is trusted. It's trusted before. We don't say an advisor trusted. We say a trusted advisor. I know a lot of advisors, but I don't know that the borrowers trust them yet because they've got great advice, but they don't have a relationship where that borrower says, you know what, Fobby? I trust you enough.
Yeah.
You've invested in me. You spent, I work with lenders across the nation. I go and talk to managers. I say, let me ask you a question. What's your average application time for your loan officers on your team? They go, 7-8 minutes. There's your problem in a nutshell.
Wow.
Make that 55 minutes and you're going to close a whole lot more loans. And they're like, oh, we can't spend 55 minutes. And here's what I say to them every time. How many of your guys are closing 15 loans a month? Average, every month, guaranteed. They go, I only got one. Would you like them all to do that? They go, well, yeah. I go, well, here's the secret. One sale a day. If you get one committed borrower a day, you're putting 21 deals in your pipeline. We close 75% of that in Israel. That's 16 loans. So your problem is you're rushing all of your applications and nobody has a trusted advisor mindset or mentality or any relationship. If they'd slow it down, get to know the borrower better with this $500,000 decision, that's a major life decision, that borrower is going to give them their business because they value the fact that you valued them.
Yeah. You reminded me of something that I said, I think it might have been Ginger Bell and I were talking a few weeks ago or a month. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ginger. And I said to her, I was at a barbecue one time for a client and I looked around and I saw all the other people that I'd done loans for and realized the referral tree was here. That's how I ended up at this barbecue of the client. It wasn't because I did the loan. It was because I was part of their family and their circle of friends now.
That's right.
And
That's
and I, and I do believe that somehow or another we have kind of gone away from that moment. And you're kind of reminding me of that, how important that is, because from the trusted advisor, you also build referrals.
right. And
Where
you
this,
build repeat business. You build that lender for life mindset that you're looking for.
right.
It's all based on relationship. It's not, look, if you got the best price today, here's the best that'll happen. You'll get that deal, but you're not going to get the next one because you've trained your borrower to look for the best rate. So
Mhm.
the next time they get a loan, they'll do the same thing. They'll just go shop a bunch of people. It's all about relationship at the end of the day.
So
That's what the game's about.
how do we like if someone calls me, right? And granted, look, man, I do maybe 5 loans a year now. Okay, it's probably like my cousin and my best friend or whatever, right? I don't have the armor like I used to years ago, Dale. And I'll be
Yep.
honest with you. Every year, my business plan, I write down I'm going to do 36 units this month, and I fail miserably on that goal.
You're doing other things. You're all right. You've earned that right.
I appreciate that. But what I want to get at is when a borrower calls up and just says, "Hey, what's your rate today?" What should a loan officer do at that moment, at that instance?
You're going to love this. So, because this is my whole rate doesn't matter speech, because it doesn't matter. It's never mattered for 42 years. First off, let me remind the audience of a very important truth, okay? If a borrower says to me, "What's your rate?" What they're really saying to me is, "What's my rate?" That's what they're asking me is. They want to know what their rate is. There is no way I can answer that question honestly and accurately at this point because I just met them. I don't know a thing about them.
Hmm.
So here's the key. I'm going to respond with this response. Fobby, that's a really great question. I'm glad you asked me that. Notice what I did there. I acknowledged your question and let you know the importance of it. Okay, I'm not running from you. I'm not chickening out. I'm not changing the subject. So you start to wonder what my rates are. I go, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked me that. And then I just educate you. Now, Fobby, here's the fact of the matter. My rates are super competitive. I can guarantee you that. We pride ourselves in making sure that we are competitive with the marketplace. But as far as what your rate is, right now, I have no idea because I just met you. I don't know anything about you yet. Your rate is based on multiple factors that include your credit score, include your down payment, include the size of the loan, the type of the loan, the term of the loan, the configuration of the loan. There's things that have nothing to do with you that also determine the rate. Here's what I can assure you. I'm going to get you a great rate, but more important than that, let me ask you a question. If I could literally show you how to get qualified today and save more money in more ways on your mortgage than anybody else with the best loan officer you've ever worked with, would you be willing to spend time with me?
Yeah,
That's my answer.
yeah.
They say yes 9 out of 10 times. Now, if they say to me, "Well, can't you just quote me a rate? These guys told me they could give me 6.25." Here's all I say. Okay, can I ask you a question? Did they take an application, pull your credit report, verify your income, make sure that they checked your down payment? Did they do all that? No. Okay, well, then that number doesn't mean anything because
Wow.
they don't know you either.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
It's that simple. This is just the truth. We're just speaking truth here.
Yeah, I mean, I think consumers just don't have. They think it's like maybe shopping for a car. Is that a good way to put it? Maybe like you want to go get a Buick or whatever, and you shop around for a Buick, and whatever's got the price got the price.
That's exactly what it is. It's interesting. You're going to love this. So I don't only train loan officers and train leaders around the country, but I work with C-level executives all over the country and consult them.
Mhm.
Okay. Most common question or most common statement, I should say, that I hear from CEOs, I hear this at the conferences a lot that I speak at, or when I talk to them, I say, "What would you like to do with your company? Tell me what you'd like it to look like." They go, "We want to be the Amazon of mortgage." You know what I say to them every time? No, you don't. They
I've heard
go, "What do you mean?
I've heard
No, I
that
don't."
I've heard that
I
too
go,
many times.
think about what you just said. Think about Amazon's strategy. They're dealing with predominantly $100, $200, $500 products, $30 products, not $400,000 products, which is the average loan size in the
Yeah,
US today.
right.
So they're built on speed, they're built on tech, because that kind of a product, that's what consumers want. That's not what consumers want when they're making the biggest decision in a lifetime. You don't
Yeah.
want to be Amazon of the mortgage industry. You want to be the premier of the mortgage industry. And that means you combine great tech with great service and relationship. That's how you win.
That's a great mindset, Dale. I mean, I love that because I was just thinking in my head, like if I buy a bad hoodie from Amazon, I just go return it.
That's right.
Right? You can't return your house.
You can't return your mortgage.
So we
Can
don't
I
let
get
them.
a refund? No, it doesn't work that way.
Sorry, it expired last night when you signed the docs. Hey, we have a question from the audience here, so I want to run this out by you, see what you think. So loan officers are facing seasonality, slowdowns, right? Winter season in upstate New York, that kind of stuff. Q1 comes around, and kind of like the holiday hangover still hanging around. Springtime, summertime gets good again, and then all of a sudden seasonality kicks in, right?
Yep.
What do you think? What would help a loan officer, especially I think this question came from upstate New York, in that region, so that they could stay active throughout the 4 quarters?
Yeah. So let me first, before I answer that question, let me address one thing. Seasonality is not really a thing anymore like it used to be in the mortgage industry for all 42 years I've been in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it's not a thing so much anymore is because of digital availability to look online at homes and do all that. So many people have bought homes without ever stepping in them. So those 2 feet of snow doesn't matter like it used to, where, back in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, yeah, you'd shut down for 2 weeks and nobody buy a home or look at a home because the weather was terrible. Those days have changed. So first and foremost, we don't see near the seasonality we used to see. What we see today is because people get rates in real time. When rates go up, activity goes down. When rates go down, activity goes up. Now, rates don't determine whether they buy, but they do determine their activity on the front end. So if there's a snowstorm, but rates drop by a half a point that day, I guarantee you'll have more purchase apps in your queue than you ever know what to do with, because borrowers respond when they see that happen. Now, how do you keep a constant flow of business? Simple answer. Call your database every single day.
Wow.
Call your database. Call your database. Quit relying completely on purchase. There's a lot of refi opportunities today. I'll give you 2 stats that are going to blow your mind, okay?
Okay.
Average equity in the U.S. today for a U.S. homeowner, according to CoreLogic, is $311,000.
Jeez.
You take 80% of that, that's $245,000. Here's the bigger stat. The average consumer debt per household in the U.S. is $105,000.
Oh my God.
So we got people with crazy debt, paying huge payments on it, with crazy equity. Call them up and say, you know what? Don't worry about the rates. You're paying probably $500 to $700 more than you need to. I can lower that for you today through a mortgage refinance.
Yeah.
That's the conversation you need to have.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think working our database is always smart, and always, once again, I'm going to go back and connect the dots for Dale here, right? You are their trusted advisor.
That's right.
Right? You did the purchase for them. Now go back and help them save their monthly budget.
Exactly right.
And I think we continue building on that trust. Dale, what happens when the results don't come so quickly? What happens like when the guy's doing all the right thing? He's making the calls. He said, hey, Dale told me to call my CRM or my past clients. I'm doing all that. I'm 45 days into a deal and I don't have a damn loan yet. Yeah. What am I doing wrong here?
Well, if you're 45 days into it, then probably the problem isn't your activities. It's probably your attitude. Okay. You probably aren't. You said it earlier, Fob. You're not urgent enough. You're not passionate enough. You're not confident enough. You're not excited enough. And what happens is loan officers will, they'll get excited when their pipelines are low, and they'll say, okay, I'm going to call my database now today. And then they call like 150 people, and they're ineffective after the 11th one. What I teach people is don't do a lot once in a while. Do a little every day. Way better. So what I always teach loan officers is just set a plan. I'm going to call 20 people in my database every morning without fail, no questions asked. Why? The worst I can hear is 20 no's, and I can live through 20 no's.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, the law of averages will be on my side, and I'll get some yeses. So if you're working through the right activities with the right attitudes and you're not getting the results yet, just keep doing it. It will pay off. It always does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was doing an episode with Carl White. You know Carl, right? And
Very
he
well.
said all the years that he's been doing mortgages, 16% has been his like application rate or whatever, right? Yep. So if he makes 100 phone calls, 16 people will convert into an application.
That's right.
And what I heard was the great Carl White is being told no 84% of the time.
That's right.
and he's okay with that.
Absolutely. I
He's
mean, professional baseball players, if you bat 300, you make the Hall of Fame.
So
that means you fail 70% of the time.
So what I'm getting at is going back to your attitude, right?
That's right.
If your attitude is of that, like, hey, I can take 84 no's today as long as I get 16 yeses.
Yep.
And I mean, that's how the mindset can shift here. So we have another question. I want to ask this real quick.
I got to say one more thing, Bobby, before you take the question, because your audience is going to love this. So all the years I managed, here's what I used to teach my loan officers, okay? You get on the call, the guy says no, guy swears at you, guy hangs up on you. Here's what I want you to say the minute you hang up. Oh, that guy loves me. And then I want you to say, next, and just make another dial. And we'd hear all day long, all over the sales floor, oh, that guy loved me, next.
I remember this one salesman used to tell me, look, if you get hung up on, thank the guy because he's one of your like no's for the day. You're getting to your yes a lot quicker now.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's all it is. You're getting to your yes pretty quick. Here's a question, Dale. How do loan officers adjust to the market where consumers are gravitating towards digital lenders with automated platforms?
There is a certain percentage of borrowers who are going to be digital. There is no question about that. So I don't want to mislead anybody with my earlier comments that everybody's a relational buyer, because everybody's not. There are people who are going to do that. But the percentages are not huge. It's somewhere around 20 to 30%, somewhere in that range of people who want a fully digital transaction. 70 to 80% of people don't want that. They want the ease of technology, but they still want the advice of a human being. Think about it this way. How many of us, when we call up a company and we get that automated phone system, what are we doing? We're mashing the 0 button to try to get to a human being. Yeah. That's what most people do. So here's the deal. Don't worry about those lenders. There's more than enough business for all of us. Let them have their share. You go get your share. But there's a lot more relational-based borrowers than there are digital-based borrowers in today's marketplace. Now, that might change in 5 years, but for right now, that's where we're at.
And I think also, if I just add, like, find a niche. Like, I remember early on in my career, I was told, like, find a slice of the pie, Fobby, that you're going to fight for that slice of the pie in the market space. Like, this is your space.
Yep.
And I became the self-employed borrower's, like, best friend. And like every realtor said, if you got a self-employed borrower, Fobby's your guy.
Yep.
And that's how I kind of like started fighting for that slice of pie.
Yeah. I use a saying all the time with loan officers. I train them on calling on referral agents and all of those things. Say, look, here's the deal. Don't go for the whole donut. Go for the donut hole. That's what you're going for. You're looking for your place. You're not walking into a realtor who's got all of these approved lenders. They're doing well and say, I want to be your lender. That's an idiotic statement to make to somebody who's got trusted lenders they're working with. What you need to say to them is, I'm here to help you grow your business. What I want to determine is, where is the gap I can fit in to grow that business for you? Where is that opportunity for me to help you expand your buyer base and approve more customers? That conversations the realtors love to have. Yeah. And you'll find your niche. And the beauty is, once you get the donut hole, when you do a great job, they might give you the whole donut before you know it.
Yeah, yeah. You might become one of those Dunkin' Donut munchkins or whatever they Hey, Dale, we're coming up here to 30. This has been such a quick 35 minutes, man. I mean, I wish I could just go on forever about this. This is I hope you come back, Dale. I hope you give me another opportunity to talk with you again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Be honored to.
This is great. Yeah, Jake, you're right. I am getting my Dale Vermillion diploma today. You're head on. Look, a lot of overwhelmed loan officers. What's the one thing that they need to hear as we wrap up this show? What's the one thing from Dale Vermillion as they get their diploma? What do they need to hear from you directly, Dale, today?
Yeah. So here's the deal. Redefine your product, guys. You're not in the mortgage business. You're in the money business. And the beauty of money is everybody loves it. Everybody wants it. Nobody's got enough of it. And you got an unlimited supply of it. Just focus on helping people improve their finances. This is the greatest industry in the world. We help people with the American dream. We help people get home ownership. We help people create memories for lives. We help people to reduce their payments and increase their tax deductions and get out of debt and get money for things that matter. We are such an essential part of the entire fiber of America and the economy. Don't ever forget that. If you remember, you're always in the money business and not in the mortgage business, and you quit talking about things like all the mortgage terminologies that we talk about out there, and you just focus on how can I help you get into a home you can afford, save money, save debt, do all of those things, you're going to win. It doesn't matter what rates do. It doesn't matter what the market does. People aren't going to stop buying homes, and they're not going to stop needing to save money. You will always have a career here.
Well said, man. Well said. What a way to wrap up a masterclass. I mean, this has been a masterclass, as Jake put it, and I appreciate you so much walking me through this, Dale. I mean, it pumped me up. I still have time to do 36 loans this year. I've got 2 down, so I got two down, so I got 34 more left for the year. I can pull this off. Real quick, guys, on May 22nd at same time, 2 p.m., we're gonna be going live with the one and only Kyle Draper. Forget everything you ever knew about Kyle. I think you know Kyle, don't you, Dale?
Oh, good buddy of mine. Love Kyle.
So Kyle's gonna go live with us, and we're gonna be breaking down branding and marketing, all the things that Kyle loves to do. But for today, Dale, thank you so much for being on here, guys. Like and share this episode. I think we need to get Dale's word out there, because at this time in this market space, this was exactly what I needed to hear today, Dale. So thank you so much for being on here.
Fobby, thank you for having me. God bless you, my friend. Have a happy Easter, and really appreciate you having me on. Love to do it again. Just let me know when you want me back.
You got it, brother. JP, man, get us out of here now. All right.